The Amazon rainforest is the home of oddities and strange creatures, like this huge anaconda, or the hottest river in the world that kills any animal that falls into it. What other bizarre findings are locked away in the world's largest jungle? Join us as we uncover 20 strangest things found in the Amazon rainforest. Number 20. Black caiman. In the dark, unforgiving forest of the Amazon, there lives a 16-foot monster known as the black caiman. Scientists call it the largest and most dangerous predator in the Amazon forest, capable of taking on prey of any size, including other predators. Its dark-colored, scaly skin creates an appearance of a formidable beast no prey wants to encounter in the wild, while also serving as the perfect camouflage for its nightly hunts. But perhaps what makes the black caiman more terrifying is their lack of fear instincts. You see, unlike other animals of the wild Amazon, black caimans don't stand back from any opponent, including humans, and if they want something, they just go ahead and take it. There have been several reports of both provoked and unprovoked black caiman attacks on humans, and although some injuries aren't fatal, most victims end up on the caiman's menu. As apex predators of the Amazon, black caimans feed on both small and large prey, from cattle to the ferocious giant otters, horses, monkeys, pythons, deers, armadillos, and pretty much any animal unlucky enough to cross their path. Some river dolphins have even been found with scars that could have only been made by a black caiman, proving their place right at the top of the food chain. But even though no natural foe can look in the eyes of these Amazonian beasts, mankind has been their greatest foe, hunting them to near extinction just for their precious hide. Thankfully, the black caiman is making a much-needed comeback recently and is currently considered a low-risk species. Number 19. Goliath bird eater. Meet the king of spiders, the Goliath bird eater. This 6-ounce tarantula with a leg span of nearly a foot is considered to be the largest arachnid in the world, and its home is in the rugged terrains of the Amazon rainforest. Contrary to the name, though, Goliaths don't usually eat birds, although they are big enough to, and occasionally they do. The name bird eater came from an 18th century engraving that showed another kind of tarantula eating a hummingbird. Its diet is mostly made up of insects, but sometimes frogs and rodents are on the menu too. As ferocious predators, Goliaths prowl the Amazon in search of prey, and with their inch-long fangs, they inject neurotoxins into these helpless catch. Then the spider drags the dying animal back to its burrow to begin the long and horrifying digestion process. Because, you see, spiders can't actually ingest solid materials. So first, it liquefies the prey's insides, then it sucks it dry from the outside. Unlike other spider species, though, Goliath bird eaters have pretty bad eyesight, so they rely on their modified leg hairs, which are sensitive to vibrations, to warn them of any impending danger. And if a predator comes too close, the Goliath unleashes its special weapon. By rubbing its legs together, it activates harpoon-shaped hairs with stinging barbs, launching them straight into the eyes and skin of the attacking animal. The irritation that results is enough to send most predators running, making the Goliath formidable both in offense and defense. The Goliath's habitat is also quite peculiar, because unlike other spiders, it doesn't spin webs. Instead, these tarantulas use their weaving skills to line their burrows under the Amazon forest floor. As for their venom, although it's lethal to small animals and insects, it's not deadly to humans and will only hurt as much as a wasp's sting. Number 18. Boiling river. This is the Shanai Timpishka, a river as wide as a 2-lane road, stretching for 4 miles, and constantly boiling at 85 degrees Celsius. As unnatural as this may sound, this near-boiling river is 100% orchestrated by nature itself, and locals even believe it is heated by the power of the sun. According to these local legends, the waters of the Shanai Timpishka were brought forth by Yukamama, a giant serpent spirit known as the Mother of the Waters. But what is really responsible for the intense heat keeping this water at high temperatures in reality. At first, scientists believed the source of the heat was a volcano, but with no active one in sight, they turned to other possible explanations. As it turns out, the water is constantly getting boiled by the geothermal gradient of the Earth. As you go deeper into the Earth's crust, mantle, and core, temperatures begin to rise significantly. This is due, in part, to the residual heating from billions of years ago when our planet was just formed, as well as radioactive decay and other heat sources. Scientists believe that when meteoric water falls onto the surface of the Amazon rainforest, it travels down into the Earth's crust through deep-rooted faults and is then heated in accordance with the geothermal gradient of the planet. This water is then fed back to the surface through hot springs that heat up the water through its entire stretch. Unfortunately for the animals that live nearby, falling into the Chennai-Timpishka River ends in certain death, and the riverbank is often littered with their carcasses. Number 17. Candiru fish. The Amazon is one of the most biodiverse habitats on the planet, home to a wide range of creatures, from the cute to the downright bizarre. One of those on the extreme end is the candiru fish, a tiny parasitic catfish that sucks the blood of its victims, which can sometimes include humans. Candiru fish, also known as vampire or toothpick fish, are almost completely translucent and very fast swimmers, so spotting them in the rushing waters is practically impossible. They often attach themselves to the gills of larger fish, including larger catfish, making them almost cannibalistic in nature. Using their incredible swimming skills, they propel their way into the fish's body through the gill opening, lodging themselves into place with the sharp spines by their head. When they're perfectly lodged in place, the candiru fish begins to suck its victim's blood, killing the prey in the process. There are also stories that the candiru is attracted to the scent of urine and will sometimes trace the root of the smell. Unfortunately, if that source is a human swimming and urinating in the river, the candiru fish is known to follow the stream of urine to infiltrate the urinary tract. Since the urethra is too small to allow it to swim out, the fish can then only be surgically removed. However, some scientists have long disputed the claims that candiru fish can attack humans, but in spite of this skepticism, most Amazon explorers stay protected and avoid urinating in the waters to avoid attracting the fish's attention. Number 16. Giant otter. The thick jungles of the Amazon are also home to another formidable predator known as the giant otter, a 6-feet-long beast with a constant thirst for violence. This carnivorous mammal is mostly found in South America and is considered to be the longest member of the weasel family. Its unique behavioral and morphological traits sets it apart from other otters in its class. Although it has the longest body length of them all, the giant otter also has the shortest fur, which is usually chocolate brown, but can sometimes be reddish or fawn. As short as their fur is, though, it's so dense that water cannot penetrate their skin. They also have short, sloping muzzles, which give their head a ball-shaped appearance, as well as highly sensitive whiskers, which help them monitor water currents and detect prey. Their large webbed feet make them very good swimmers, which is one of the reasons they're apex predators. Not surprisingly, the giant otter has no serious natural predators, other than humans, of course. It competes on the same playing field with other predators like the neotropical otter, jaguars, and crocodiles. But just like the black caiman, it never shows fear or surrender to intimidation from these other Amazonian beasts. Giant otters are also very social animals and often live together in family groups that can contain as low as 2 otters and as big as 20. This family often includes a single male patriarch and his many females and offspring. They defend their territories ferociously, and when they hunt in packs, they're almost unstoppable. As strictly carnivorous animals, giant otters feed mainly on fish like perch, cichlids, and even piranhas. However, if the fish aren't available, giant otters can make a meal out of crabs, snakes, and even small caimans and anacondas. As a predator that kills apex predators, the giant otter is recognized as the top threat in the Amazon, a killer no prey wants to cross paths with. Number 15. Titanoboa. Scientists exploring the Amazon rainforest have recently stumbled upon the remains of a gigantic snake that could be the biggest snake to ever exist. This is the Titanoboa, a massive beast as long as a school bus and as heavy as a small car, which ruled over the Amazon some 6 million years ago. Judging by the excavated vertebrae, paleontologists estimated that the Titanoboa was between 42 to 45 feet long and could have weighed up to 1.25 tons. Based on the physiology, scientists also believe it is related to both anacondas and boas, although it's uncertain which it was more closely related to. The incredible size has often been attributed to the climate of the Paleocene period, which is because the metabolic rates of snakes and other cold-blooded animals are influenced by the temperature of their environment. So, it took an exceptionally warm climate like the Paleocene epoch to create this monster snake. Scientists also believe that the Titanoboa would have spent most of its time in the waters, since it was too big to live in trees or practically anywhere else. For food, the Titanoboa would have had a pretty long menu, filled with any and every prey in the Amazon. Unfortunately, though, Titanoboas eventually went extinct millions of years ago, although it's unclear what was responsible for their demise. Number 14. Amazon earthworks. 450 giant rings have been discovered in the Amazon within the past 25 years, and scientists believe there could be up to 10,000 more. This finding could be vital evidence that the Amazon was widely inhabited by an ancient civilization, challenging everything we previously believed about the rainforest. Looking at the thick canopies of the Amazon, it's hard to imagine that such a dense forest could have been home to human civilization thousands of years ago, but these earthworks could change that narrative. The geoglyphs are distributed over an area of about 5,000 square miles in the Acre Statek located in the western part of the Amazon. They're described as giant trenched enclosures measuring up to 36 feet wide and about 42 feet deep. The earthworks also take a variety of shapes: ovals, circles, and squares, and it was all thanks to deforestation that these ancient structures came to light. But while it's clear that the geoglyphs were man-made, the purpose of their existence remains a mystery. Considering the scarcity of human artifacts like broken clay pots and stone tools around these sites, it's unlikely they were village sites or military trenches. However, some scientists believe that the geoglyphs were probably used as public gathering places for ceremonial events and ritual activities. Whatever the reason for their construction was, these geoglyphs offer us a glimpse into the ingenuity of the ancient humans who inhabited the Amazon in prehistoric times. Number 13. Pink river dolphins. The pink dolphins of the Peruvian Amazon are some of the rarest dolphin species on the planet. Their sightings are so rare that South American culture often portrays them as mythical figures, worshipped and revered by the local people. Beyond the legendary stories, though, pink dolphins are one of the 2 species of endangered freshwater dolphins, which you can only find in places like the Amazon rainforest. Their most distinguishable feature is their pink coloration. But surprisingly, these dolphins aren't actually born pink. Instead, they take on this bright coloration as they grow. When they get excited, they can flush a brighter shade of pink, similar to humans. But beyond the dazzling color, the pink river dolphin is also notable for its size, recognized as the largest and also the smartest of the 5 freshwater dolphins. Their brain is also unusually large, which might be responsible for their smartness. A full-grown dolphin can grow up to 9 feet long and weigh as much as 400 pounds. Their lifespan is also relatively long, and they can live up to 30 years. As for their diet, pink river dolphins mostly feed fish and other aquatic animals, including piranhas. They can also be very social, and will not shy away from interacting with humans, which is why a lot of tourists troop to the Amazon just to catch a sight of these strange dolphins. Number 12. Mapinguari. A mysterious beast roams the Amazon, a creature born out of legends and cryptid stories. The locals call it the Mapinguari, and it's been sighted by many across the different parts of the Amazon, from Brazil to Peru and Venezuela. According to those unlucky enough to set their eyes on this terrifying creature, it stands at about 7 feet tall and bears resemblance to the American Sasquatch and the Yeti monster. They recorded this in the Amazon jungle, and nobody believed it. Based on the diversity of the sightings, Mapinguari's descriptions vary widely. Some say it's huge with thick fur and a foul stench. Others claim it has a second eye and mouth in its stomach, which releases a terrible stench and a horrifying roar. Some other descriptions give it a monkey's face, a burro's snout, claws like an anteater, feet turned backwards, humped backs, tortoise-like neck, and a hairless chest. There are also stories that the Mapinguari's skin is impenetrable to both arrows and bullets, and that their claws are so powerful they tear cows to pieces just to eat their tongue. Many locals have also claimed to have shot and even killed a Mapinguari, but with no concrete evidence to back up their claims, their stories remain idle tales. But where did the Mapinguari come from? According to a local Brazilian legend, this mythical creature was an ancient shaman who found the secret to immortality thousands of years ago. Of course, this angered the gods, and as punishment, he was cursed to roam the Amazon as a monster forever. Number 11. Victoria amazonica. The giant lilies of the Amazon rainforest are the largest water lilies you can find anywhere in the world. This gigantic plant features extremely large, round leaves with upturned rims that can measure up to 10 feet in diameter. They're also very sturdy and can handle a weight of up to 1,000 kilograms, or 220 pounds, which means it can hold the weight of an average person without buckling. Below the water surface, the giant water lily is supported by a strong stalk, which can grow up to 26 feet long. Initially, it was known as the Victoria regia, the name given by English botanist John Lindley, who was the first to publish his findings about the genus. The name Victoria was chosen to honor the 18-year-old British queen who had just succeeded her father William IV to the throne in June 1837. In addition to their incredible size, giant water lilies are also known for their fascinating flowers. These flowers are also exceptionally large and can measure up to 16 inches in diameter. However, they only bloom at night, and it lasts for just 48 hours. Number 10. Chachapoya, mummies. A burial vault in the Amazon unveiled a disturbing find: a mummy with hands over eyes, with a face groped with terror, along with several similar grotesque-looking bodies. Scientists believe this mummy is at least 600 years old and has survived through the ages thanks to the embalming skills of her tribe, the Chachapoyas, also known as the Cloud Warriors. This vault, which was also used for religious purposes, was discovered by a farmer working at the edge of northern Peru's rainforest. He quickly contacted scientists, who discovered the mummies alongside several ceramics, textiles, and wall paintings belonging to the ancient tribe. The Chachapoyas were a tall, fair-haired, light-skinned race that some researchers believe may have originated from Europe. Historians believe they were one of the most advanced ancient civilizations who occupied the region between the year 800 and 1500. They also developed unique mummifying techniques, which have preserved their dead for thousands of years. Along with the mummified woman, 11 other remains were also uncovered in the vault. Curiously enough, all the mummies are covered with paintings of faces and warrior-like figures, which may have been drawn to protect the dead from intruders and evil spirits. The discovery offered an intriguing insight into the burial practices of the ancient Chachapoya tribe and their history, which has been lost to the passage of time. Number 9. Unusual insects. When studying insects in the Amazon, most entomologists focus on the ground. the intricate pathways and underbrush of the Amazon floor. But a scientist named José Albertino Rafael decided to look up 105 feet in the thick canopies and uncovered a whole new world of insects. For 2 straight weeks in 2017, Rafael, who is an entomologist at Brazil's National Institute of Amazonian Research, trapped several insects at various heights. Working from a 31-foot tower erected in the middle of the Amazon, Rafael and his friends identified 37,000 different insects, half of which were flies. The rest of the insects ranged from weird beetles with massive eyes to parasitoid wasps not found anywhere else in the world. The most interesting part of this discovery, however, is that many of these insects remain unidentified, and it will take decades for scientists to work through them one by one. Number 8. Glass frog. The Fleischmann's glass frog is a small tree frog that averages around 1.5 inches, with a white, translucent skin on its belly. Thanks to this unique feature, you can clearly see the frog's beating heart, as well as other organs from the outside. Other parts of the skin are generally pale green, with small yellow suction pads on its fingers and toe. Just like most other glass frogs, the Amazonian glass frog is nocturnal, spending most of its days hiding under leaves and among tree branches. But as soon as night falls, it ventures outside to hunt and search for a mate. While very little is known about its diet, scientists believe they feed on the same kind of things most frogs enjoy: flies, spiders, as well as other small invertebrates. Although northern glass frogs are very abundant in Central and South America, their population has been declining recently, and it's all thanks to invading human activity and deforestation. Number 7. Arapaima. The rivers and lakes of the Amazon rainforest are home to a wide variety of big fishes that grow to epic proportions, like the arapaima, also known as the paiche or the pirarucu. This air-breathing fish is one of the largest freshwater fish species, and the biggest of them can grow up to 15 feet long. However, an arapaima that big has not been reported in years, and most are usually around 6,000 feet long, weighing 2,000 pounds. Their physiology features a tapered green head, an upturned mouth, and a scaly, streamlined body. As air breathers, arapaimas can only survive underwater for just 10 to 20 minutes before coming up for a gulp of air. Their diet consists mainly of other fishes, but they've also been known to feed on fruits, seeds, and even insects. To obtain its daily meal, the arapaima simply opens its large mouth, creating a vacuum that pulls in any and every food object nearby. But sometimes, they can leap out of the water to grab unsuspecting birds, lizards, and even small primates hanging over the water. Number 6. Mata-mata turtle. This bizarre-looking creature is a freshwater turtle, known as the mata-mata, found primarily in the Amazon and Orinoco basins. Its distinct look features a triangular, flattened head with many tubercles and flaps of skin, as well as a horn and a tubular snout. The physiology of the mata-mata turtle is built for camouflage, and in the murky waters, appearing more like a piece of bark than a turtle saves it from predators. As carnivorous reptiles, mata-mata turtles feed primarily on fishes and aquatic invertebrates, and their bodies have perfectly adapted to hunting with limited visibility. They have very fine eyesight, which reflects lights like in other nocturnal reptiles, and the sensitive skin flaps on their necks also help detect any form of motion around them. Once they find a good vantage point to lay an ambush, mata-mata turtles lay perfectly still, before opening their mouths to create a vacuum that sucks in prey. However, these turtles can't chew their meals due to the way their mouth is constructed, so they simply swallow the fish whole. The greatest threat to these turtles, however, is that humans find them attractive as pets, so they're usually captured in droves and shipped off to Europe and the United States, which can eventually pose a threat to their continued existence as a species. Now it's time for our subscribers' pick. There is a local legend about a mythical creature lurking within the Amazon rainforest. Very few people have set their eyes on this beast, but those who've caught a sight describe it as a white dragon with a horn on its head and majestic wings with which it dominated the skies. Scientists have attempted to dispel this myth for years, claiming that the sightings were fabricated or just exaggerated stories. But then they recorded this in the Amazon jungle, and nobody believed it, proving that indeed, this dragon must really exist. Do you think this photograph proves the existence of the mythical dragon? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 5. Giant armadillo. The Amazonian giant armadillo is the largest living armadillo species in the world, and its existence is entrenched in the local legends of South America. To the indigenous people, it is known by many names: tatu, tatu careta, pejichi, cabazoo, and some even call it cachicamo. This beastly creature with a peculiar appearance can grow up to 4 feet in length and weigh as much as 99 pounds. And in the wild, they can live for as long as 15 years. The giant armadillo is also recognized as the mammal with the most teeth, although its diet only consists of termites and ants. Its fearsome claws are also the longest of any mammal, and it's so powerful that it can quickly demolish the stronger termite mounds in a matter of seconds. When searching for food, giant armadillos dig burrows in sandbanks and even abandoned termite mounds, where they then spend most of their time underground, scouting for their tiny meals. Although it doesn't hunt bigger animals, the armadillo's claws are powerful enough to tear through flesh, and it doesn't hesitate to deploy them to defend itself. Number 4. Harpy eagle. Ruling over the Amazon skies is the harpy eagle, a legendary bird of prey with a distinctive appearance. The feathers on its head transform into a bold crest when it feels threatened, and the smaller gray feathers on its face create a facial disc that improves its hearing, just like with owls. As it is with most eagle species, female harpy eagles are usually larger than the males. Its leg can be as thick as a child's wrist, and its curved talons are larger and more ferocious than a bear's claws. Although it's clearly not the largest bird of prey, this extraordinary bird is considered the heaviest and most powerful bird alive. Thanks to its powerful broad wings, the harpy eagle is able to fly almost straight up, so it can attack prey from above as well as below. Apart from being a skilled hunter, though, the bird is also very patient. Sometimes it sits quietly in the trees for hours, waiting for an unsuspecting prey to walk by. Its excellent vision can spot prey from 200 meters away. Once it latched onto an unlucky animal, its deadly talons exert up to 50 kilograms of pressure, crushing the bones and killing it instantly. As a top predator, the harpy eagle feeds primarily on opossums, porcupines, snakes, young deer, and iguanas. Number 3. Walking palm. Out of the over 80,000 species of plants in the Amazon rainforest, this particular species of walking palm might be the most unusual. Known scientifically as Socratea exoryza, the walking palm is known for its peculiar ability to walk across the forest floor using its aerial roots. This adaptational feature helps it locate the best nutrient source in the jungle, so it can enjoy a competitive advantage over other plants. Similar to the way some trees grow taller so they can access more sunlight and cast a shade on the shorter trees. The trunk of the walking palm can grow as tall as 82 feet, and at its base, you will find a set of locomotive roots visible above ground. At first, scientists thought the roots were meant to stabilize the tree, but they soon realized those were the tools that helped it move when sunlight becomes sparse and nutrients get depleted. Scientists believe the tree is able to travel for up to 62 feet, a journey that can take up to 2 years. Number 2. Eyelash viper. There are many snake species in the Amazon rainforest, with different shapes, sizes, and distinctive features. One of the most interesting species would be the eyelash vipers, an arboreal venomous species of pit vipers found majorly in Central and South America. Their most recognizable physical feature are the scales above their eyes, which earned them the name eyelash vipers. Scientists believe these eyelashes aid in camouflage, as it breaks the snake's outline among the foliage, where it tries to hide from prey and predators. They also possess a wide, triangular-shaped head and eyes with large pupils. These snakes come in a wide range of colors, including red, yellow, brown, green, and even pink, and they sometimes come in various combinations. As carnivores, these strange-looking snakes feed majorly on small rodents, lizards, frogs, and small birds. They're also known to have the fastest strikes in the world, with venom powerful enough to kill a man. Number 1. Indigenous tribes. For thousands of years, several uncontacted tribes have lived in complete isolation from the rest of the world in the forests of the Amazon. They are entirely self-sufficient, create their own shelter, and grow their own food, and many of them violently repel any attempt to establish contact with them. It is estimated that at least 300,000 indigenous people currently call the Amazon home, split into 450 different tribes who speak over 150 different languages. While some of these tribes are small and only contain few members, others, like the Yanomami tribe of northern Brazil, consists of over 22,000 members. In 1996, a lone man was spotted in Brazil's Rondônia state, and Brazilian authorities believe he's the sole surviving member of his tribe. Since no one knows his name, his language, or his tribe, he's commonly referred to as the last of his tribe. Like many of the other tribes living in the Amazon, this lone survivor lives under the protection of the Brazilian government, who safeguard them from invaders, natural disasters, and every other form of threat to their continued existence. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.